How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Moonray with us, and they can see their names and what they do in the band.
Hey, Moonray here, and my name is John Ray,
I'm Barbara.
and I'm the lead singer, guitar player, and play synthesizer. And Barbara is also a synthesized player, and she does backup vocals. And yeah, it's just the two of us right now. We compose our drum machine MIDI sequences for the drums, and we send that to a drum machine, and also the same for bass for our live performances. So we play on top of that, and yeah, just us.
That's us.
Awesome. So my
And we're married.
And you're married. So
Yeah.
first question, you kind of got into it a little bit, but like, how did you guys kind of start out doing music? I've actually had another couple on Audio Addiction that make music together, so that's really cool, and we could talk about that aspect of it. But I guess the first thing is like, how did you start out getting into music? What made you want to be a musician, I guess?
Well, I started. My mom noticed from a early age at like 1 that I was starting to like pick out notes on these toy instruments she bought me, and she was a huge fan of. She was a hippie, a flower child growing up in the '60s, and loved Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, all the greats. Like that's what I grew up listening to. But she noticed my liking to music, and she just started always buying me little instruments here and there, and just I've been playing my whole life. Played my first performance with Burt Wills. He's a Texas legend musician. When I was 5, I did some harmonica solos for him.
Oh, awesome.
And then got into piano composition at around 10. And then from there, just picked up the guitar and saxophone, flute, clarinet, mandolin. And 23, I recorded my first album with Anthony Crawford, and he played with Neil Young and the International Harvesters for 30 years.
Awesome.
He taught me 101 on recording, how to produce myself, and I also played mandolin in his folk band called Sugarcane Jane. That was an awesome experience. Then after that, I had a band called the Dead Sea Scales for a while in Houston. Continued that, moved to Austin, met her. She was going to be a lawyer.
Wow. Okay.
She had taken piano lessons when she was younger and loved music, always liked it, but her parents didn't really support the idea of it.
I know that.
I wanted to get a major in theater in college, and they were like, nope. I was like, you need to get a business major. So I did international. I did international business with a minor in theater, and then I took extracurricular classes. I added piano. I added photography, and that was like my fun, outside of the business realm. But I'm very grateful for the business side.
Yes, and thankfully she had it because she's teaching me the business ropes, and I shared her what I knew about music, and she started taking lessons, and now she's playing the guitar and keyboard and mandolin and learning the violin. It's really hard, but she's doing good. She's been doing that for about 1.5 years now, and
that's the new instrument that I'm trying to pick up, the violin.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And
I feel like in my aspect of like what you guys do, I also went to school for business as well. I have my marketing degree, and like I feel like there's a lot of commonality between that of like people that want to do music, but then they're like, parents are like, I don't know, like maybe you should do something else. And I felt like, it was cool that you found kind of both of those worlds where you're like, I could still do music, but business really applies to a lot of different things, and so you're able to incorporate that into your I guess your job as being a musician and stuff like that. So I appreciate that immensely, because I definitely have lived in your shoes and continue to live in your shoes in that regard. But that's really cool. And then how did you, I guess you guys kind of like hit it off after like you both had that commonality of music, I'd assume, correct?
Well, it's interesting enough. We dated for 1.5 years before we even played music together. She was helping me. My kitty jumped down. She was helping me get my album together and packaged and branded. And I was playing in a duo with a friend, and we weren't going anywhere with it. It was just kind of like a drink a lot of beer and jam session. We stopped drinking alcohol for about 3 years, and during that process, that friend left because he couldn't stop, and I was just like, I don't know, who I'm gonna play with, really. And then I just like looked at her one day and I was like, wait a second, why are you not up here playing? Like, you can totally play a monophonic synthesizer one note at a time. Like, you'll learn the root notes of the verse and chorus, and like that's it. Hold it down. And so we started doing that one note at a time, and then she learned we got her a little poly synth, 4-voice synth that we put on top, and she started playing one note down here and one note up here at a time, and then it became 2 notes and 3 notes, and now she's playing the Moog 1, 16-voice polyphonic synthesizer with 3 synthesizers inside of it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I was more of what do you call like a hobby. It was because of the business major. I was like I took piano in college, but it was more of like a hobby. Like even I worked at a hotel and I was able to pay for my own guitar lessons, so I took guitar lessons just because I was like, yeah, I want to just get better at it. And then I met this fool.
Yeah. we started a live sound company together. We had my stepfather Reese was always really supportive of my musical upbringing growing up. Every 6 months we were always upgrading or adding some instrument or recording microphone to develop my skills, and he helped us start a sound company and got us a PA system. And we started doing little festivals, and now we provide sound for major festivals during South by Texas Indie Fest and the UT campus shows, and we have like 4 PA systems, and we do Allen and Heath mixing consoles, and also we started a recording studio here at our house. Is where we produce all of our music, and it's like a synth lounge is kind of what we call it. But out here it's the same thing. There's a vocal booth and a grand piano and drums and synthesizers and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Awesome, guys. My next question, kind of to follow up kind of your live playing, what are some favorite venues you guys like to play at, or I guess catch the show at in your free time?
I think our favorite show we've played so far was opening for Alice Merton at Stubbs. That was awesome. We got plenty of time to set up our gear, which takes a second because we use cables and stuff, and like usually festival they're like turn and burn 10-15 minutes. Like, we need you up there and ready to go, so we're always sweating and stifled, but we love that show. We play Synthomania. We played last year and we'll be playing this year in October, and that's a really cool little synth showcase, micro showcase event that we do. We like playing smaller gigs that are intimate, that are in like cool settings, outdoor stages and stuff, but we're
in the shop right now too.
Yeah, we are. We're redesigning our live set at the moment. But we've a lot of the bars in Austin. We've played at a Lit Lounge, a lot of places on 6th Street. Darwin's Pub's pretty cool. They have great sound. The Jackalope on 6th Street. We do actually. It's pretty cool that we're part of this music industry meetup group called Balanced Breakfast, and we run the Austin chapter here, and it started in San Francisco. But during South by, we rent out 2 venues on 6th Street, and there's a huge showcase with like 40 different bands. And I have to say that's probably one of our favorite shows to play, just because of the community and building relationships with all these awesome people in the industry. It's a lot of fun.
I've been meaning to make my way out to South by Southwest. It's been on my bucket list of things to do, just because I'm such a music head, and it's awesome to just have like weeks upon weeks of great music. So
definitely hit us up when you're in town.
Yeah, hit us up when you're in town. You can come check out the studio, come play some synths.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I will have to see what this year brings, but my next question, kind of to follow up the venues, what was the last show that you attended that you didn't play?
What was the last show we attended where we didn't play? Let's see. We see a lot of local bands. We just went to San Antonio, Pearl Street. They had a Mexican Independence Day show. I guess technically that's the last one. I don't remember the band's name, but it was great.
We saw Father John Misty.
We saw Father John Misty not too long ago. Awesome. Andy Schaaf was the past year. We saw him. He's a great artist out of Montreal, I think. His album, The Party, is amazing. See, who else did we see live recently?
I feel like that might have been the last one, Father John Misty.
Yeah, that was the last. Churches. No, we saw Churches live. That was at ACL last year, though, so that wasn't too recent, but it was still fresh on my mind. It was an amazing concert. We saw Paul McCartney too at that same
Does
same
it
festival.
count with running live sound?
Yeah, we see a ton of live shows because we run live
Sure,
sound.
yeah.
We see a lot of country acts. Jack Ingram, we got to run sound for him not too long ago,
Oh,
and
awesome.
it's pretty cool. We also have seen some live performance recently from the Texas Dancehall Tapes. We're the audio team for that. We capture Al Ketchum and get Pat Green and a bunch of famous
Bob Schneider.
Yeah, Bob Snyder, Austin,
Nice.
and Texas
Okay.
musicians. So we got to see their performances. We were recording it at the same time when we get to listen to it with headphones. So we felt
Yeah.
like we had the best seat in the house, really.
Yeah,
But we
can
do love
imagine.
we love live music and love going out and supporting our local friends, bands that are out there. They're really great. We just saw Various Blonde was a band we saw not too long ago. They're a two. I don't know if they're a two-piece. We saw them as a two-piece, but they were amazing. They play with
They were great.
synthesizers. Walker Lukens is a great act, and Jackie Vinson.
Yep.
She's wonderful. And Austin, I mean, you get to see so much live music. It's just step outside, take a cab down 20 minutes, and you're there.
Yep.
There you go. Awesome. Well, I mean, I usually ask those sorts of questions just in case I ever get the chance to just travel and go places. So I always love getting an idea of where like real musicians, go meet up, go see some cool shows and stuff like that. So I'll have to keep in the back of my head whenever I go to visit Austin.
Oh,
to come see
sure.
some stuff.
And feel free to reach out with any recommendations. We can help you try to find a good spot to eat and a good place to watch some tunes.
There we go. Awesome. My next question, guys, the most important one. Tell me about your musical influences. I guess, who do you draw from?
We draw a lot of our inspiration from life in general, our love, our own personal situations. As far as our musical inspiration,
Production.
Yep, and production.
It's a lot of like 80s, 70s.
Yeah, we're inspired by a ton of vintage music. We try to, really, I mean, it's really our favorite 60s, 70s, and 80s. Were some of the best genres around. We'd like to do a modern twist on that. There's a lot of elements in modern production that I love, like the subharmonic low bass hits and the thick syrupy bass. They didn't have those type of production techniques done to the songs back then. So taking like vibes of that and then mixing it with modern production techniques, I think is really cool. But Neil Young is a huge inspiration of mine. I love his songwriting. I know the genre is different, but it's awesome. Tame Impala is, I mean, amazing. One of the greatest modern psychedelic rock bands I think that's out there. Really inspired by their sounds. Tori and Moi.
Lately, we've been digging that one.
And I have to say, even that I never was I always respected Taylor Swift's music, and she's building an empire off of it, and that's great. I never really jammed with it too much, but I will say her new album, there's a few songs on there that are pretty awesome. That You Need to Calm Down song. Maybe it's the production I'm drawn to. I mean, well, the melody and everything. I can't lie, it's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
And her brand is pretty on point.
I like Alice Merton a lot.
Alice Merton is another awesome artist. We got to open for, so it was pretty cool
awesome.
getting to see their setup and watching them do their sound check.
And it was like 2 years ago, maybe. So like it was right at the beginning of her first U.S. tour. So it was kind of neat to see,
awesome.
how she's been.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also kind of a lot of our influence with our music, because we have like the male brain and the female brain. So we get to work together. So it's a very like, I have like my, songs that I enjoy, and then he's got his music that he enjoys, and we both like each other's music, but we have like a different aspect of like, hey, maybe we should add this in it, or maybe we should try this.
I'm all like, cars and trucks in the studio, and then she's like, flowers.
And then you just have a truck full of flowers. There you go.
Yeah.
You find the common ground. And
there you go.
And honestly, that's how I felt with like a lot of the music that you guys, that I had been able to listen to prior to us doing an interview. I felt like it was almost like a mash of two worlds, not like that they were like opposing. I felt like it just worked super well. And
thank you.
I think also like just it definitely felt like nostalgic, as like an old school sort of feel. Like you were saying, you draw from a lot of like 60s, 70s, 80s music, but I felt like it wasn't so like in that part of the music as much as it was like modern. There was definitely some modern like pop elements to it as well. So I felt like you guys kind of rode the line of both things. And like I also can respect like a lot of that type of music, because when I was a kid, my parents listened to a lot of that stuff and like my uncle, all that stuff. That was something like oldies music is something that is still very, very
Yeah.
cherished in my heart. So
Yes.
it was cool to see like that be like reinvented as like something more modern.
Oh, well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Oh, yeah, we really enjoy making music together.
We do. It's been fun. It's still fun. We're excited for our next one. We're gonna have to send you a little sneak peek.
We
There
will.
we go. Awesome. Well, my next question, keeping it more fresh and relevant, who have you guys been jamming recently? Like who's on your Spotify, or it could even be a local act that you saw. Who been listened to lately?
Yeah, we were just listening to Jackie Vincent the other day. We had lunch with her, and she showed us some of her new tunes. They're
Taco
great.
night.
I'm sorry.
Taco night.
Yeah, we had taco night with, and
another friend, John.
she's going in kind of a pop direction, and I mean, her music's really great. We've been jamming that on our Spotify list. We were just jamming that Various Blonde band I mentioned to you earlier.
Awesome.
We really like their sound, synthwave. Alice Merton. We're really trying to listen to a lot of stuff that's got a lot of synthesizers in it. That we can just kind of draw inspiration from. At the moment, that's kind of what we've been doing, at least.
Most mornings, though, we like to wake up to the Darjeeling Limited soundtrack.
Yes, which it's on
Which
vinyl, and it
amazing on vinyl.
Yeah, she'll put the record on because she wakes up before me, and I wake up to that typewriter, teep 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 teep, and I don't know why, but it makes me want to wake up, and it makes me happy.
There you go. Well,
we
now we
love
know
that one.
the morning rituals. I love it. Awesome, guys. Next question, a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Ooh, man, that is a tough one.
We've had a cover song note section on our phone.
Yes,
of songs we'd like.
I think one that we were thinking about covering recently that we liked is that new "Loving Is Easy" song by Rex Orange County. I think that would
there you go. Yeah,
that would be a really cool one to do with some synths.
I'd be about it.
Yeah,
maybe
right
on
the
electric drums.
Yeah, maybe like a Lindrum and like I don't know, Moog bass to keep that funky vibe going.
I don't know.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I think that one would be a good one to cover. I'd have to say that would be the answer.
There you go. Well, now it's on the internet forever. So if people really are just hounding for covers, now it's been locked and loaded. But if you have any other suggestions for them, let them know in the comments what you feel like they would cover the best.
Yes.
But my next question, another fun one, guys, kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but what is your favorite food to eat?
Chicken wings for him.
I was going to say something a little more interesting, but yeah, she's right. I love.
Oh my goodness. But no, air fried chicken wings.
They are air fried. Yeah. We got an air fryer recently, and I didn't use it for the first few months because I was like, that thing's not going to work well. But it really does. You put your wings in there and spray it with just a little bit of oil, and I like to make them like this Asian fusion where I put ginger powder on them and
nice.
Fry them really crispy.
They're really good.
And then you dip it in that sweet ginger Thai sauce. It's so good. I'd say that's probably my favorite food. It's kind of maybe lame that it's chicken, but
mine's stir fry.
Stir fry, yeah, vegetable stir fry is
vegetable stir fry is probably what my go-to.
Okay.
I like to make it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make some vegetable stir fry today.
We just got a new wok for our wedding present, and we need to break it in.
It's amazing.
Melt the wax off of it.
We've been wanting to wok for like almost 3 years now, I think. So we're like, yes, wok. We can use it now.
There you go. Awesome. Well, I used to have one, then I don't because my parents like moved, so they took all of their stuff with them, and I was unfortunately torn with the choice of you have this knife you can buy, or this knife that you bought, or you get the wok, and I was like, I gotta go with the knife because that's like more utility.
A little more practical.
It is definitely.
Yeah, woks are expensive too.
They are.
They are.
I had no idea. I was like, huh.
There we go. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Next question. Keeping it back with the music stuff. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a guest vocalist or a guest feature on your next record, or a producer you'd like to work with, who would it be?
A couple of producers, maybe.
Well, that's a tough one. They have to be alive still.
I mean, I feel like you should give me, if you're gonna go with that route, I feel like you should give me one has gone away and one that is alive and well and kicking it.
Well, the one that I would love to make a track with Jimi Hendrix, man. I think it would be so cool just to create a synth track for him, just to shred all over with this guitar. Oh, that would be so cool. That'd probably be that one. A modern artist.
Or a producer? I'm trying to think.
I'm horrible at remembering the producers' names that I love.
Yeah.
I more remember the artist by them. Modern artist. It'd be pretty cool to make a collab song with Churches.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
That would be
That would
awesome.
be amazing.
I'd have to say that'd probably be the one. And their producer, I can't remember who their name is, but I mean the production is always top notch.
It is.
On their stuff.
It's amazing. Their live show is just like,
Oh,
It is.
sure.
it's like, whoa.
It is. Yeah, listening to them in the car is a really cool experience. But I really didn't get super turned on to them until I saw them at ACL. When there's huge subwoofers, it's just like hits you right in your chest. It's amazing.
I know. It's really cool.
Yeah.
They seem like they put on like a live show, and I think in my mind there's certain bands that like you just have to see live, and they just like kind of ring true in that sense of like, wow, their music is actually like, not to discount their music at all, but like I feel like it's just that much more when you're like seeing it live and like experiencing it, and then you go back and listen to it and you're like, wow, this is like still very much like powerful and stuff like that. So it's cool to hear that.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome, guys. Next question. If you could pick another musical instrument to master, what would it be?
Trumpet. I would love to master the
I
trumpet.
guess I can't take violin because I'm already trying to master that one. Let's see.
Electric guitar.
Electric guitar, yeah.
Okay.
That would be it. Because I actually have an electric guitar.
Come on, you're jealous of my soul.
But I would love to be able to play an amazing electric guitar.
Just shred.
Yes.
There
Yes.
you go.
That's
Awesome.
definitely the one.
Okay, guys. Next question. If you could compile a dream tour, who would be on the lineup?
Ooh, that's a great one. Well,
this is including your band, just as a FYI, you know, just in case the question came up. I got you.
Okay, right on. It would be cool to tour along with Alice Merton. That would be a cool one to tour with. I know we use her a few times. Maybe we should use someone else. A dream tour. I mean, oh wow, the Rolling Stones are still touring.
Yeah.
That would be it.
We did go see them live. So.
We did a few years ago. We saw them in Dallas. They still have it.
They do.
It's incredible. Mick Jagger is an inspiration. Yeah, that would be it. It would be to tour, open for them.
There we go. Awesome. Yeah. Right straight to the point. Love it. Classic band. You know, you gotta shoot for it. So Rolling Stones, if you're like, you know, just scrolling through the internet on a whatever day, you know, maybe you should consider it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Next time I see that they're looking for a band to open for, I guess
there we go. You got it. You just send them this video to this point, and they'll know what's going on.
That's right.
But my next question is, we kind of maybe alluded to it a little bit earlier, but in your opinion, who puts on a great like live performance in terms of, you know, I guess like overall performance and like stage presence, all that stuff?
Oh well, there's so many good, awesome performers.
Churches, we talked about
we did. Yeah, they
Alice Merton puts on a really good one too.
Mm-hmm. She performs really well. Mobley is an artist in Austin who's local, who puts on a really great live performance act. He switches to the drums, the keyboard.
Oh, cool.
He's really great.
He's cool.
Also, there's the one man funk band. What's his name? We saw him. He plays on.
I can't remember his name.
Oh man, I can't think. He puts a great performance. But I can't remember his name now. He's here in Austin as well. Jackie Vincent's a great performer. She's amazing on the guitar. Who else? What do you think?
So we got our local and our
Spoon is. We saw Spoon live.
Yeah.
For
They're great.
The third time last year, and they are amazing live to see. They kill it. Trying to think who else have we seen recently. It just puts on an amazing show.
I'm still in love with Churches.
Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire.
Oh yeah, Arcade Fire was amazing.
That tour though is not going on anymore. The what was it called?
Everything Now.
The Everything Now tour.
Oh man.
It was so cool. They had like this rotating wrestling ring. Very random, right?
That's
and
cool,
it was a stage, and they come out like with their robes, and it says like Everything Now, and they're like boxers, and they all get up on the stage, and yeah, the whole stage is just turning, so like everyone has a great seat.
That's awesome.
I think what took me was
That's
that
probably
when
one of
you
my
first
favorite
walked
shows I've
in
ever seen. I
was
think.
the disco ball. They had like a huge disco ball. And do you
Oh,
remember,
that's cool.
you know ABBA? You probably know
Yeah,
ABBA.
I know Ava's, yeah.
So it literally, they were playing like some of the ABBA songs, and
Like
it was
Dance
like
a Queen, you know?
Mhm.
Yes.
There was a huge disco ball, and it was just like,
That album has that feel. It totally has the ABBA vibe. It was just super cool how they had it set up, the display. It must have been. I guess I really appreciated it too from a producer's aspect, because how did they get all those cables to twist like that? Always, it must have been wireless, but man, that just sounds like a nightmare.
and, yeah, they were also moving. They had like maybe like 20 instruments, maybe. Or
Oh, there was like 18 people on stage,
Oh my
and
God.
there were synthesizer stations all over. There was a drum kit in the middle, electric drum kit. They were playing bass, guitar, acoustic. There was horns, violin.
Crazy.
It was amazing. It was so cool.
They kept rotating from like one instrument to the other, you know, to give the audience.
And they did,
each
yeah.
view.
I don't even think they didn't even stay in their own section. Like they always switched. It was really, really neat. Very inspiring to see.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds like a crazy experience, and I'm kind of upset I didn't get to see it, because that sounds like just like a cool experience of like never really having a bad seat, because there's certainly times I've been to shows and I've been like, man, this would be so much better if I could like see them.
Yeah, I mean, if you were at the very, very top of the thing, I mean, I guess would be the worser seat, but it's still, we were
sure.
pretty high up, and we enjoyed the show a whole lot. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think, yeah.
Awesome, guys. Next question, another fun one. Favorite
Yeah.
TV show, favorite movie?
Oh, these are hard to pick faves. Let's see. Favorite TV show. What was the good one with Walter Bishop? What was that show called?
I don't remember.
I don't know. The Stranger Things is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I guess my favorite TV show right now is called The Good Place. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's
awesome.
so funny.
It's clever. It's different. It's unique. It's like
It's lighthearted. It's hilarious.
yeah. I say it's classy, but not. I guess it's borderline that, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I think that would probably be my favorite TV show right now. Favorite movie.
We do watch a lot of like sci-fi TV shows too.
Oh, okay.
So
Star Wars probably would have to win, but I couldn't
Yeah.
pick which one. I just can't pick one.
They're all really good.
The Emperor Strikes Back.
We actually were thinking about rewatching all the Star Wars.
Yeah, the original ones.
From,
And,
like,
well, no, from the modern
from
sequel
the modern sequel to like the
to the like in the actual
order.
timeline.
oh,
Yeah.
like from 1 to 8, I think they're at now, or something like that.
Well, yeah, because the old ones were the future,
The
and then
first
the
three,
new ones were like the beginning. So like to actually, because I in my head the story is maybe only like 80% there. I think it would help iron it out a little more if I watched it from and it's been so long, I've been growing up with it for 20,
Yep.
20 years or whatever. Yeah, Star Wars, the Star Wars series is probably my favorite. Nothing I feel like brings a nostalgic vibe back than seeing that opening sequence with the
Oh,
story
Yeah.
Every
go
time.
across. Yeah.
love
I
Star
rewatched the most recent Star Wars movie, and I like felt the same way. I was like, "What am I, like 13 again? This is awesome!" So
I know.
I'm so about it. And I'm excited for the new one. So
That's how you know it's a good movie, and you start feeling like a little kid.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. Next question, guys: if you're trapped on a desert island for the next month, and there was one record you could bring with you, what would it be?
I would probably pick Asia by Steely Dan. Aja, is it,
okay. I think
that's probably my pick.
Does that mean we each get one? That's my
Absolutely.
question. So in order to like balance that out, I mean, I could just pick the Darjeeling Limited because it has some memory.
it's a pretty good mix.
There's the Rolling Stones are on there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice.
Ooh,
It
that was a very solid, smart choice. I like that. The last thing, guys, the most important thing. Tell them about your band, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
All right, yeah. You can find us on Instagram. I think that's our favorite platform. We're on Facebook too. Our website is moonray-music.com. You can find us there. We have our link tree up on our Instagram, which has some of our press, that's recent press, and photos, and our new single that's out. We're working with Eric Mixerman Seraphin right now. He's been mixing and mastering our songs. He did this song that we just released, Come Away, and we're about to release another one in a month that's called No Stranger to Love. And we are also working on a song that's called Party Gal, and we're creating a really awesome music video with Diego Lozano,
which is going to be shot at the end of this month.
We're
So we'll start shooting at the end of this month.
We're very excited. We can't say too much, but there are going to be some mermaid zombies. So
that's a little too much.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should have said that, but I'll go ahead and say that. That's
I mean, if you like sci-fi,
yeah,
you know,
I'm about it. You already got me.
It's going to be a cool music video. Our first official music video. We're also working on a 10-song album. We've been working on it for 2.5 years. The plan was to release it first. We want to give it the right attention that it needs. We have Joe Travers and Johnny Radalat on it on drums. Joe Travers has drummed with Duran Duran, Lisa Loeb, Joe Satriani, and Johnny Radalat he drums with Gary Clark Jr. and a bunch of other awesome musicians. We're really happy to have them as guest drummers on the album, and I'd say we're about 90% finished with it. We have a little bit more, but we're planning on releasing the full record sometime in 2020.
Awesome. Well, I want to give a massive shout out to both Angela and Erica at Muddy Paw. I love them. They're awesome.
We do too.
I always got to give them some shouts. But check out Moonray. Something different for me. I mainly handle more like rock and alternative music, so it's a nice change of pace to get something just like completely out of my wheelhouse.
Cool.
But it definitely felt nostalgic in that way of like what we were talking about earlier. So it was cool to hear that, and also hear kind of like more of a modern flair to it. So if you like that, definitely check out Moonray. Links in the description where you can find out about their band, music, anything of sorts when they're playing. All that stuff is the links below. And if you enjoyed this interview, make sure to share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. And thanks, of course, to Moonray for coming on.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor, and we look for you reaching out during South by.
We are. We're going to be waiting for that.
And anyone, see y'all out there.
Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.